Yes, folks, it's Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton. The talk today, I've been away for a little bit, by the way. If you wonder where I've gone, I've been to Scotland. Went to buy a stag's head. If you wonder where John's been, let me show you. There we go. It's on the wall somewhere. There we are. Is it? No, that's the other way, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, that's my Dracula. Yeah, I bought that, yeah. Stag's head. There we are. There you can see it. There we go. Batman at the end, yeah, crazy office. Yeah, so that's where I've been. Right, so I'm going to talk today about Gary Glitter, Paul Gadd. Paul Gadd is coming up for parole, a hearing again, because he was released and then snatched back in because he breached his terms of release. He breached his terms of release by downloading images of children, indecent images of young children, by the way. And they can't hold his parole hearing in public, which like they did with Charles Bronson Salvador, yeah? They can't do that because apparently they have to, the parole board who are hearing this are required to have a look at the evidence that's been presented as to the reason as to why he was recalled in. I mean, obviously, if we've got a sex offender who is immediately on release on parole going out there and indulging himself in pursuing images of child abuse, then it's quite clear that he may very well still be a serious threat to society, specifically to young children. I mean, don't forget, I believe he went overseas. Was it Vietnam or somewhere like that? And he got himself arrested over there for molesting children again. So he's a bang at it, you see. And the problem, as I've previously said here, with sex offenders, is that they don't see the sex offenders. They say things like, "Well, the children actually do want to take part in this. They're the ones that are actually leading it." You know, forgetting the fact that they're talking about 8, 9, 7, 10-year-old children, you know. But Paul Gadd isn't bothered about that, is he? That's his excuse, that's his mindset, and that is why you can't rehabilitate him. I mean, you can put them on or put him on drugs, or you could take it to extremes, you know. We could do some other horrible things that I'm sure have crossed one or two people's minds. But at the age of 79, he isn't finished offending yet. So he's going up for parole in January of next year, 2024, where he will be requesting that he be released on licence again. Now, there is a change coming forward here, which is being brought in by the Ministry of Justice, the Home Office, through the government, yeah, that they're going to desist automatic release of individuals who have committed certain offences, such as sex offences, rape, you know, molesting little children, extreme violence. So the automatic 50% release record, you know, so you only do 50% of your sentence, that is going to be rescinded, and they will serve the entire sentence. So if a judge sentences somebody to 20 years, that's what they do, 20 years. And it makes sense, really. Only problem is that when they're doing that, they don't have a great deal to lose. You see, with people who have got, they can actually lose their remission. What will happen if they can't lose their remission because they don't have any remission? Then, I mean, it's the governor's powers are slightly reduced, because I believe the governor can take away up to like 14 days of somebody's remission. I've seen people before, Norman Brown and what have you, losing 7 days remission for just for getting into a fight on the landings and stuff like that. Apparently these days it's quite easy to get into lumber on the landings because there ain't any staff there to deal with it. I mean, back in the days, what we had was automatic block. So if they kicked off on the landings and they were fighting, you'd snatch them and a couple of yourself and a couple of lads would run them down the block, take them into the block, which is the segregation unit, and introduce them to the school bully. And from there they'd go the next morning up before Norman Brown and get themselves 7 days down the block and lose 7 days remission or something along those lines. That was a general standard of operation at Strangeways, because it was known as a screw's neck. A screw's neck being a prison whereby the prison officers have got it tightened down, you know. Don't stand any messing about, which as a general rule worked. I mean, what's happening nowadays, from what I'm reading and what I'm seeing, it seems to me that there are certain prisons that are out of control. And they're out of control because the staff, I mean, if you've only got one member of staff and 60 or 70 inmates on exercise, or if they're on freedom of association, you know, and there's only one member of staff, they're not going to take any notice to that, are they? They're not. And if you ring the alarm bell, who's coming? The hostess, the Vernon girls. That's who's coming. Paper roses, paper roses. Here we are, boys. Yeah. It's just ridiculous. No wonder they've lost control. And now they're talking. The government's talking about trying to recruit adult males between the age of 30 and 55. Yeah, a bit late now, but better late than never. Get in there and do it. But where are you going to get them from? As I've previously said many times on here, you can't get people to work in the prisons in the Greater London area because you can't afford to live on the wage. The average rent in London is, I believe, for a standard 2-3 bedroom house, somewhere in the region of £2,500 a month. Yeah. Now, you're not going to get paid that amount of money working in HM prisons. So if you've got a family, a wife and maybe a couple of 3 children, you can't afford to do that job. So what are they going to do? They're going to have to rethink this, aren't they? I think they're going to have to rethink the whole prison idea. But they've just locked up about 600, probably 450, 500 people who were caught on this scam that the police were able to get into the secret telephone calls, you know, where they were thought they were talking on the black web, the dark web, thought they were talking like that, but the police were in there all the time. And they've just suddenly sprung it on them, and they've got another 400, 500 inmates. All of a sudden, bang, straight in. I mean, 2 weeks ago, the maximum they could take was 258 inmates, and now they've got another 450. Where are they going with all this? Just ridiculous, isn't it? Anyway, you'll be pleased to know that I found the song dinger. There we are. A song dinger, it's not a song. I gave you a little song before, didn't I? Paper Roses. That was the Beverley Sisters, by the way, not the Vernon girls. They were dancing girls, weren't they? The Beverley Sisters, they sang songs. A bit like 3 Alma Cogans, all stitched together. Paper roses, oh how sweet those roses seem to be. Now they're only imitation, like that imitation love for me. Well, you were warned. I did ring the dinger. And I'm now going to read you a poem. Are you ready? Are you sitting comfortably? Good, good, good. Then I shall begin. This is by Edward Lear, and it's called The Owl on the Pussycat. I like this. It's nice. Comedy verse, isn't it? The owl and the pussycat went to sea in a beautiful pea-green boat. They took some honey and plenty of money wrapped up in a £5 note. The owl looked up at the stars above and sang to a small guitar. Oh, lovely pussy, oh pussy, my love, what a beautiful pussy you are. You are, you are. What a beautiful pussy you are. Pussy said to the owl, You elegant fowl, how charmingly sweet you sing. Oh, let us be married, too long we have tarried, but what shall we do for a ring? They sailed away for a year and a day to the land where the bong tree grows, and there in a wood a piggy wig stood, with a ring through the end of his nose, his nose, his nose, with a ring through the end of his nose. Dear pig, are you willing to sell for 1 shilling that ring? Said the piggy. I will. So they took it away and were married next day by the turkey who lived on the hill. They dined on mince and slices of quince, which they ate with a runcible spoon, and hand in hand on the edge of the sand they danced by the light of the moon. The moon, the moon. Oh, they danced by the light of the moon. There you are. Tales from the Jails. Tales from the Jails today with John G. Sutton. Thank you very much. Don't forget to like and subscribe.